Hi, Mrs. Olivia. I'm Leticia. Today, I'm going to present to you about the impact of novel coronavirus COVID-19 on the firm performance and its stock prices. Since you had required me to select two stock counters from the similar sector and subsectors that are listed in Bursa Malaysia, so I have chosen sector under consumer products and services and subsector under retailers. The two stock counters that I choose are, the first one is Padini Holdings Berhad and the second one is Paksun Holdings Berhad. First, let us see what is the background for both public listed companies. For Padini, their business activities is sells both men's and ladies' shoes and accessories, garments, ancillary products, children's garments, maternity wear and accessories through various subsidiaries. The firm has begun to operate as Royal Garments Manufacturers Company in 1971. In 1975, they entered retail industry until present. They converted to public listed company in 1995 and adopted the name Padini Holdings Berhad. The firm size is 1960.6 million ringgit Malaysia. The following is the top 10 controlling shareholders for Padini. For your information, Yong Pang Chown, who is the founder of Padini and also their managing director, along with his wife Chong Chilin, are the major shareholders in Padini via Yong Pang Chown Holdings Siam Berhad, with a stake of 43.74%. Besides that, Yong Pang Chown and Chong Chilin also has their own individual number of shares in Padini. Yong Pang Chown has 1.245%, meanwhile Chong Chilin has 0.489% of share. For Paksun, their business activity is engaged in the operation of brand department stores, which are fashion and apparel, domestic and accessories, household and electrical and groceries and perishable. The firm has opened their first store in 1987, and since then they have opened new stores across the country. Today, they have at least 40 stores in Malaysia and 60 stores outside Malaysia. The firm size is 224.2 million ringgit Malaysia. The following is the top 10 controlling shareholders for Paksun. Tan Sri Cheng Jem, who is the founder of Paksun, has the highest number of shares, which is 26.89% of share. The following is the continuous of the top 10 controlling shareholders for Paksun. So, what is the reason that I chose the sector and those selected PSCs? The sector that I chose is consumer products and services, and the subsector and the retailers. The reason why I chose these sectors is because I like to do shopping. We all know that COVID-19, the pandemic, has hit all around the world, and we all know that almost all the business, except for essential service, has been closed down. So that is why I chose Padini and Paksun, because these two firms, we can say that most people are familiar with these two firms, because these two stores, these firms, has been located like almost shopping malls in Malaysia. So personally, I'm also curious what is the impact of novel coronavirus COVID-19 on these two firms. Before we discuss about what is the impact of COVID-19 on the firm's financial performance, let us see what is the strength weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What is the strength for both PLCs? For Padini, they serve a specific market. They only need to focus on specific markets. This has become their strength. And the second one is they have strong brand image and brand reputation. Padini has a tangible brand for about a long period of time, and they have exposure in major retail centers since they has a strong brand. And what I really like about Padini is they offer us a quality product with an affordable price where everyone can purchase their products. For Pasun, their strength is they provide a variety of products. When you go Pasun, you can see that they provide us a lot of different kind of products. They not only sell clothes, but they also sell like handbag, wallet, and so on. And since they open big store, they will often to do bulk purchase. The largest quantities they purchase from their suppliers, the lesser cost that they will pay. What is really nice when you shopping at Pasun is very convenient because they offer you a lot of choices, so you can buy a lot of different kind of things just at Pasun. And the last one is economy in advertising. The second one is minuses. What is the minuses for Padini? They can be all fashionable. A retail store like Padini, they have to make sure that they keep on following the trend so that they won't left behind. For Pasun, they will require large investment of capital because they open big stores. The second one is they will need a higher operational expenses. For example, they will need to hire more employees to make sure the store keep operating. Another example is they will need to pay a higher rental because they need more space to display their products. The third one is difficulty in management, since they have a lot of employees. For example, a higher level employee would know most of the issues that faced by the lower level of employee. The third one is opportunity. For Padini, their opportunity is through the Buy Malaysia campaign by KPD and HEP. With this campaign, it is encouraged Malaysians to purchase Malaysian-made goods and services. So, through this campaign, Padini able to increase their sales in the future. For Pasun, their opportunities is we can see that in the future there will be more development across the country, so there will be more shopping malls that will be built. So this will give the chance for Pasun to open more new stores. The last one is trade. For Padini, more new brand levels will penetrating the domestic market. So it will be harder to compete in the future because there will be more new brand levels in the future. For Pasun, the changes of shopping habits could affect their firm performance, and there will be more new department stores that will be opened in the future. So it is important for both firms to make sure their products is fresh in the eyes of their consumers. So what are the external factors that could affect the sectorial performance? For social, the consumer tends to follow the trend, so the firm have to make sure that their stores is on trend, their product is on trend. The second one is online shopping. Nowadays, a lot of consumers, they prefer to do online shopping instead of going to the shopping mall to buy at there, because it less consume time and it offer cheaper price. The third one is population growth. A higher demand There could be a high demand in the future if the firm know how to take opportunities despite more new stores open in the future. And the fourth one is edge distribution. As a consumer myself, if we compare between Padini, for example, Padini and Patson, we can see that these two stores attract two different generations, where Padini they will attract more younger population. Meanwhile, for Patson, they attract more for the older ones. Another factor is environment. As we can see, today, due to the COVID-19, most of the business were closed down, and there are a lot of business also be terminated because they cannot afford more to pay their rental. Now, I will present to you about the share price movement since March 2020, which is since the implementation of MCO. In March 2020, Padini share price has fallen to 1.78 ringgit, which makes their one of the lowest share price. On 30 November 2020, BIMB Securities Research said that they believe Padini deserves a re-rating as being a prime beneficiary of consumer recovery. It means to say that the investor can pay a higher price for the share because during this time, Malaysia has entered the recovery movement control order phase. So there will be less restriction for the business to operate. Therefore, there will be some improvement for their financial performance. So this is the Padini share price chart. So as we can see here, Padini has hit the lowest price at 1.780 here, and this is on 19 March 2020. So this is during the time when the Malaysian government has implemented the MCO. Toward the end of the year 2020, Padini share price has increased to 2.97 ringgit on December. This means to say that Padini has shown some improvement on their share price since the outbreak of pandemic COVID-19. Following with that, on December 15, 2020, the share price has hit 3 ringgit, and the very next day they hit 3.1 ringgit. After months since December 2020, on August 2021, it shows that their share price has maintained at 3 ringgit, and 3.09 on August 16, 2021. On 12 August 2021, RHB Securities Research says that if it remains above the resistance turn support of RM2.99, the bullish bias will stay in place. It means that the demand has increased and the supply has decreased. It means the price of share will keep rising. Meanwhile, for Pakistan, they actually has been struggling since even before the outbreak of the pandemic. On 19 March 2020, their share price has dropped to 0.09 cent, and then on April 28, 2020, their share price has increased to 0.25 cent. On 28 April 2021, RHB Securities Research said that the share price showed some uptrend movement crossed the immediate resistance level at the end of April 2021. Actually, the firm has facing the resistance level even before the pandemic. Meanwhile, Kananga Research and Investment said that, technically speaking, following a breakout in August 2021, the stock has been hovering a range of 0.185 ringgit and 0.19 ringgit, which now act as a steady support area. The following is the one that Kananga has mentioned just now. On August 16, 2021, the share price is 0.185, and then on August 20, 2021, the share price has increased to 0.190. Now, let us see what is the impact of the pandemic COVID-19 outbreak on the financial performance of these two selected PLCs. For your information, Pasan and Padini has a similar financial year end, which is as at 30 June. So first, let us see the changes in their revenue. I have chosen two financial year end, which is financial year end 2019 and financial year end 2020 to do the comparison. So the changes in ratio for Padini revenue is negative 0.24 and Pasan is negative 0.194. This means that this indicates that the revenue has declined. The next is the net profit margin. For Padini, both financial year end 2019 and 2020, they are both profitable. So the changes in ratio from 2019 to 2020, the net profit changes in ratio is negative 0.35. Meanwhile, for Pasan, both financial year end 2019 and 2020, they are both loss. So this is why their margin is in negative. The changes in ratio for the net loss margin between 2019 and 2020 is 27.3. The next is we will check the changes in liquidity condition. So I choose 4 quarters to do the checking on the liquidity condition, and then I use formula current asset divided by current liabilities to get the current ratio. For Padini, as at 30 September 2019, the current ratio is 3.41. As at 31st December 2019, the current ratio has decreased to 2.98. And then on 31st March 2020, the current ratio has increased to 3.56. On 30 June 2020, the current ratio has increased again at 4.03. This indicates that Perini has strong working capital to do their repayment. For Paxson, on 30 September 2019, their current ratio is 1.06. On 31st December 2019, they have maintained their current ratio at 1.06. On 31st March 2020, the current ratio has dropped to 1.01, and then on 30 June 2020, the current ratio has decreased to 0.85. This indicates that Paxson has weak working capital because their current ratio is less than 1. For operational efficiencies, I am using operating ratio where I use formula operating expenses divided by the revenue. The changes operating ratio for Perini is increases by 0.04, and then for Paxson, the changes is increases by 0.01. The next is the calculation for the changes in debt servicing abilities. I use gearing level to check the debt servicing abilities where we want to check if the firm is able to do the repayment or not. The formula that I use is total abilities divided by total asset. So the changes for gearing level for Perini is the increase by 22.68%, and then for Paxson, the changes is increases by 13.68%. The last part is we will see about the changes in market ratios. For Perini, the earning per share, the EPS, in 2020 is 11.43. In 2019, the EPS is 24.34, which is higher compared to 2020. And then the dividend per share, DPS, Perini has 11.5 in 2020, and in 2019, the DPS is 11.5, which is also higher than 2020. The price earning is in 2020 is 21.78, and in 2019 the price earning is 14.87. The dividend yield for Perini on 2020 is 3.01, and in 2019 the dividend yield is 3.18. For Paxson, since the both financial year end a loss, so therefore the loss per share is negative 40.9, and in 2019 the loss per share is negative 12.1. They have no dividend per share for both financial year end, and then for their price earning is in 2020 is negative 0.22, and then in 2019 their price earning is negative 2.15. They also don't have dividend yield for both year end. So what is the changes or in the market ratio for both PLCs? The first one we see for changes in earning or loss per share. For Perini, they are decreased by 53.11%. Meanwhile, for Paxson, they are decreased by 238%. And the changes in DPS for the Perini is they also decreased by 34.78%, and there is no dividend for Paxson. And then for the changes in price earning, the Perini show increase, which is increased by 6.91, And then for person, the increase also by 1.93. And the last part is changes in dividend yield. Padini also show that they are decreased by 0.17 in the dividend yield. And person got no dividend yield for both year-end. So we already go through how the impact of COVID-19 on the firm financial performance and also its share price. So what are the risks and what is their response and how they manage the risk to tackle the unforeseen impact arising due to the pandemic COVID-19. What are the risks that faced by most of the business due to the pandemic COVID-19? The first one is economic uncertainty. What is the indicator of this risk? The first one is fragile consumer sentiment. A lot of people has lost their job due to their employer cannot afford to pay their salaries because during MCO the government has restricted the business to operate. Therefore, these employees feel insecure about their finance. So this causing that there will be this causes that weak spending power, where they only spend their money on the necessary products like foods. So this is very dangerous for retail store like Padini and Pasar. The second risk is continuous growth of e-commerce lead to change in consumer consumption. A lot of people doing online shopping during the MCO, during the pandemic. So it can be negatively affect to Padini and Passion because the consumer might found a better retail store compared to Padini and Passion through the online shopping. So this could affect a lot to the firm performance. So how Padini respond or manage the risk? The first one is the prudent management policies, constant review and evaluation of the group's operation and strategies, collaborative relationship with the stakeholders, and continuous quality customer services. The second one is to maintain the focus on offering more good value for money clothing and accessories to all levels of income group. Meanwhile, for person, how they respond and manage the risks that are being identified. The first one is the more focus placed on cost containment, improving stores productivity, and optimizing operational efficiency to improve the result. And the second one is strengthening online and social network services to enhance consumer experiences. As for the summary, the pandemic of COVID-19 had affected negatively on those public listed companies. This pandemic has left the PLCs with no choice except to adopt a new norm and maximize their digital skills in their operation in order to recover back and improving their financial performance. So that's all for me. Thank you.